All right, everyone. My name is Jonas, and I'm going to talk to you about blockchain in geospatial applications, or distributed systems as well. And we're just pulling up the slideshow now. It's on Google Docs, and it should be with us in a second. So, sorry about that. We're ready to go. And starting the timer here. I've only got 5 minutes. I'm going to talk really fast. Right. My name is Jonas, and I'm from Awesome Map Tools. And I'm a freelancer, and talked about this topic before. You'll find more about it on my website. A distributed system is what we see to the right on this figure. A system where all the partakers are communicating directly with each other peer-to-peer. But when we look at a map, practically all the data we see on the map visualized represent in one way or another centralized structures or organizations, or at least the data has been acquired and distributed in a centralized way. Also, the data that we produce with our mobile devices often end up in centralized systems when we upload it to, for instance, Facebook or Google Maps or whatever. And they utilize the data for us, and they also monetize the data. Now, it wouldn't be great if we could monetize our own data instead that we generate in our pockets. So that's where blockchain comes in. So what is it? The most famous implementation is Bitcoin. It's a distributed peer-to-peer immutable public registry. It doesn't live on one machine. It lives on a network. No one is in charge, and all the nodes in the network are equal to each other, and anyone can own one. Anyone can set up a node and be part of it. When the data enters the registry, we use public-private key encryption. And new blocks are added to this registry every 1 to 10 minutes. The nodes are rewarded with cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin or Ether, and that covers the cost and creates an incentive to run this network. Each block refers to the previous one in this way. So there is a hash which is derived from the previous block, which is then put into the following one. And a hash is like a fingerprint of a chunk of data. And you change one bit, the hash changes. So that means that all the old blocks of entries in this system, they cannot be changed. If you change them, the puzzle doesn't fit anymore. And that leads to that this can be like a source of truth that runs like a backbone through your application. It creates transparency and accountability. You can't, however, store sort of rich data on the system, so you could do that off-chain in a system that's called IPFS, for instance, which is super interesting. I think IPFS is going to be very applicable in our industry as well. You don't refer to a file by its location, by its content. And that means that multiple computers can have it, and you will always pull the file from the computer that's nearest to you, even from multiple computers at the same time. So this is fast and it's resilient. Now, let's look at a use case. If I want to buy a piece of land, it's just not a matter between me and the guy I'm buying it for. I also need to involve a bunch of people who are controlling the registry, where it says who owns which piece of land, and I got to give them some money. Now, that's an extra cost. It's a single point of failure, right? That registry or those people can be compromised one way or another. And it also requires everybody in the area, millions of people, to have universal trust in this system. So that's where, if we can get rid of that overhead, it'll become safer and cheaper. It's already happening in places like Honduras and Kosovo and Georgia, and there's a couple of vendors out there who are providing land titles on a blockchain as a service. Other use cases would be Uber or Airbnb. They also have a geospatial component to them, obviously. And again, there's a middleman who's making money every time that a client and a provider are connected with each other. And if this could be run on a blockchain, and there's already something called arcade.city, which does that, then it'll be cheaper and more resilient to failure. This is really big also in Internet of Things, autonomous devices running autonomous applications, many of them geospatial. So that's another big area. So just to summarize, the technology is there, the need is there, A distributed or decentralized system is cheaper to run. It's more resilient to attacks and failure. The fact that it's public, the registry, enhances accountability, particularly in public sector. And so let's go ahead and reinvent existing business models over this architecture and invent new ones as well. And please contact me through this conference to talk about this topic. Or head to my website, or you can join the Slack channel. We have people from all over the world discussing this topic on our Slack. And besides, I'm broke and I need work, so please contact me.
Thank you.
Thanks. Sorry.